Okay, let's just jump right in. We're all trying to figure out these incredibly powerful new AI tools, right? Stuff like ChatGPT. But with all that power comes some really big questions. So today, we're going to break down a pretty fascinating faith-based framework that gives us a clear playbook for how to think about this technology ethically. And this quote, wow, it gets right to the heart of the whole thing. See, this framework comes from a Christian YouTuber who decided to put ChatGPT to the test. And get this, he gave it a super complex prompt. He said, write a 6-paragraph script about different theological views on the rapture, and I need specific Bible verses and arguments for each. And in seconds, boom, it spit out a script that wasn't just perfect, it used the exact verses he was already thinking of. And that's what freaked him out, that realization that he could just outsource the very soul of his creative and spiritual work. And that really leads us to the central question we're all facing. This isn't about whether AI is good or bad. It's a tool, plain and simple. The real challenge is figuring out the principles that should guide how we use it. Because without a solid framework, we risk becoming dependent on it in ways that could be, well, pretty damaging. So, how do we even start to build that framework? Well, this framework is built on 3 core guidelines. And the first one is all about purpose. The idea is to use AI not to get out of doing work, but to actually become more effective at what we do. Let's see what that really looks like. So, this is the crucial distinction, right? The difference between a tool and a replacement. Think about it. A hammer helps you build something better, faster. But the hammer doesn't do the building for you. The goal here is to use AI to sharpen our own skills, like critical thinking or writing or learning, not to let the tool make those skills dull. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. Using AI to find a Bible verse you can't quite remember, that helps. That boosts your effectiveness. But using it to write an entire sermon from scratch, that hurts. Why? Because it completely bypasses that personal journey of study and reflection. One action makes you better, the other replaces the very process of learning. It's all about the intent you have behind the action. Okay, so the second guideline builds right on top of that. It shifts the focus to what makes us humans unique, what makes us irreplaceable, all the stuff that no algorithm, no matter how smart, can ever truly copy. And there's this perfect story to illustrate the point. A creative team ran an experiment with AI voice cloning. They decided to take their host's voice, feed it into an AI, and then have the AI narrate all their video scripts. On paper, it's a genius move. It would save so much time. But the results, well, it was interesting. And that was the verdict. The AI voice was technically perfect. It had the right tone, the right pacing, everything. But there was just something essential missing. It didn't have that spark, that authenticity, that humanity of the actual person. It was like a perfect copy, but with no soul inside. And this is exactly what was lost. The AI couldn't replicate a real, spontaneous laugh. It couldn't capture the heartfelt conviction when the speaker says, "Jesus loves you" at the end of his videos, something he specifically does to try and connect with someone who might really need to hear it. This guideline is a powerful reminder that people bring a kind of value to the table that technology can help with, for sure, but can never, ever truly replace. All right, our third and final guideline is, well, it's arguably the most personal one. It's a warning against the subtle but really powerful way that these AI shortcuts can slowly chip away at our character if we're not careful. I absolutely love this analogy. It's just perfect. If you just copy and paste an answer from ChatGPT for your homework, sure, you get the grade. You look like you did the work. But you've missed the entire point. The mental reps, the struggle, the actual learning. You've got the appearance of strength, but there's no real substance underneath. And you can see how this happens, right? It's a slippery slope. It starts with one simple choice. Just take the easy way out this one time. But when we do that again and again, we're not just finishing a task. We're actually training our brains to run from effort. And over time, those muscles for critical thinking, for problem solving, even for moral discipline, they start to get weak. The shortcut becomes the main road, and our integrity gets lost somewhere along the way. So after digging into all these powerful ideas, let's pull it all together into a simple, really practical framework that you can use anytime you're about to fire up an AI. Here it is, just 3 simple questions to ask yourself. First, is this tool making me better at my work, or is it just doing my work for me? Second, does this honor the unique, irreplaceable value of human connection and creativity? And third, a big one, is this choice building up my character and my mind, or is it slowly tearing them down? And this brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. We think a lot about what we do with technology, but we almost never stop to think about what our technology is doing to us. Every single tool we use shapes our habits, our thinking, and ultimately our character. So the final question isn't really about the AI at all. It's about you. What kind of person are you trying to become, and how is your use of this tool going to help you get there?